Now, how can you tell who's the gossiper? The person that's always involved in chaos and arguments. That's your gossiper. That person who always takes the truth and stretch it. They exaggerate. You see the same thing happen, but their version is so different. If you see that happening, stay away from that person, because that person is a gossiper. The person that tells you, I didn't know that was not supposed to be told. When they tell you that once and then they tell you that twice, never get them a third time to say it again, because that person is going to keep coming to you telling, oh, I didn't know that wasn't supposed to be told. I didn't know that was a secret. I wouldn't have said anything. You're not going to have a third time to tell my business. So that's how you can tell who the gossipers are. Welcome to Win-Win with Gwen, hosted by Gwendolyn Shores, author, inspirational speaker, transformational coach, and CEO of Minds Above Matters. This is the podcast where your dreams ignite, limits shatter, and action leads to the life that you deserve. Your breakthrough starts now. Have you ever noticed that vicious, backstabbing gossip that we used to experience as kids, that we're still experiencing it now? Now, I was told when I was a child that was childish. So why are we still doing it in our adulthood? Why are we still being affected by it? Let me give you the hard, honest fact about gossip. Listen up. Gossip is not harmless chatter. It's not tea. It's toxic, it's disgusting, and it destroys lives, shatters relationships and friendships. It ruins jobs, and it breaks people's spirit. So if you're a person that gossip, stop. In this episode, I'm going to show you what a gossiper looks like. I'm going to unveil the possibility that you might be the reason why someone is gossiping about you. And I'm going to give you 3 things that you can do to help prevent a lot of the gossip that you're experiencing. Let's get started. Back in high school, I was exempt from 3 classes, but I needed to come back to school to take my exam for my 4th class. During the time of exams, if you don't have to take your exam, you had free time. I was invited to my best friend's house with her and her boyfriend. And when I got there, I wanted to watch soap operas. I was told that my best friend's boyfriend's best friend was coming over. The doorbell rang, and I answered the door, and there stood the finest boy in the 10th grade. By default, I was in the room with the finest boy in school. We talked, we got to know each other a little bit. I told him I wanted to watch soap operas because it was time for my soap operas to come on. He said, okay. He turned the TV on for me because he was so polite. Now, my soap operas couldn't come in on that particular television because there was no signal. So he says, hey, the television in their parents' room worked. I've watched it in there before. They don't care. If you want me, I'll put it up. If you want me to, I'll put it on that television for you. I said, okay, that's cool. I said, well, hold on, wait a minute now. If I go in this bedroom with you, it's not because I want no hanky-panky. I'm going in here just to watch soap operas. She said, girl, I'm not even like that, and I don't know you like that. Now, come on and watch these soap operas. Worst decision of my life. His hands were all over me. They were grimy, and they were pulling at my shirt. He was pulling at my belt. He was about to do something to me that I couldn't dream of ever putting myself in a situation to happen to me. But I put myself in that situation, and he brought that to my attention. He says, girls don't come in rooms with boys unless they're ready to give it up. I said, that's not why I came in here. And I told you that. We're just tussling back and forth. Long story short, he stopped. He realized that I wasn't going to go that far with him, and he let me off the hook. When I got back to the school, another friend of mine came in just smiling. Girl, you didn't tell me how your afternoon went. I said, what do you mean? Told me everything that man was out there talking about me, everything he was saying about me, things that didn't happen, all the lies, all the gossip. And something inside of me made me stand up in the middle of the hall. It was like something you would see on television. I stood up in the middle of the hall. That's when I knew. I should have known I was going to be an inspirational speaker at that point. The way I stood in that hall with confidence, I took up for myself. And I even started taking up for other girls, because at that moment something hit me. More than likely the girls that he was claiming to have been with, he was lying about. And those girls then started stepping forward. And there we all stood in the middle of the hall, all 6 of us, telling our side of the story. He became a laughingstock of the school. He was not respected. Girls did not like him anymore. All of the guys on the football team were laughing at him. And I say this to say that if you're a gossiper, what goes up must come down. What goes around comes around. What you put out will come back to you. Your words are powerful. And if you're speaking negative words about other people, gossiping, that can come back to destroy your life, your friendship, your relationship, your career, your reputation. So watch out what you say about people, because again, you're not safe. No, the gossiper is not safe. They usually go out and talk about people so that they can get attention in crowds, so that people will like them and receive them. And, but at the end of the day, that can be reversed on you. Try to make friends in a more positive way, because when you put out positive energy and positive words, you don't have to worry about that coming back to bite you. What goes around comes around. Positive words come back to you in positive ways. Remember that. Now, how can you tell who's the gossiper? The person that's always involved in chaos and arguments. That's your gossiper. That person who always takes the truth and stretch it. They exaggerate. You see the same thing happen, but their version is so different. If you see that happening, stay away from that person, because that person is a gossiper. The person that tells you, oh, I didn't know that was not supposed to be told. When they tell you that once and then they tell you that twice, never get them a third time to say it again, because that person's going to keep coming to you telling, oh, I didn't know that wasn't supposed to be told. I didn't know that was a secret. I wouldn't have said anything. You're not going to have a third time to tell my business. So that's how you can tell who the gossipers are. Now, what can you do to stop these people from gossiping about you? What can you do to try and prevent a lot of that from happening? First of all, know your audience. Take a look around the room. If there are people you don't know, watch your words. If there are people in the room that you know to be gossipers, definitely watch your words. Who's in the room? If people are in the room that you know are not gossipers, it's okay to talk. So know your audience. The next thing you want to do is you want to think before you speak. Think before you speak. Think about, what am I about to say? And if I say this, is this something that can come back to hunt me, hurt me, or harm me? And if it is, put a muzzle on it. It's not worth speaking out loud. Be very careful, because sometimes what we do is we express our feelings out loud when we're angry or upset. Like, for instance, maybe your boss did something to make you mad, and before you know it, you going, oh, they make me sick, they get on my nerves. If there's a gossiper in the room, the gossiper is going to take that and run back to the boss with that, exaggerate it, add lies to it, and before you know it, you may lose your job, or you may not get the promotion you wanted. So be careful, be mindful of what you're saying and where you're saying it and who's around when you're saying it. The third thing you want to do is change your inner dialogue, the way you speak to yourself, the way you think about yourself. So I want you to practice gratitude and positive affirmations, because the way you speak to yourself on the inside is going to have a reflection of what comes out of your mouth on the outside, what people hear. And when people see you being a positive person who speaks highly of yourself, speak highly of others, when the gossiper goes back to try and attack you, people are going to be in your corner. They're going to say things like, no, that doesn't sound like such and such. She's too sweet, or he's too great. No, he doesn't speak like that about people. He doesn't do that. We're not listening to that. They'll be able to gossip because of the way you carry yourself. We've learned so much today. We've learned what a gossiper looks like, how we can prevent people from gossiping about us, and also what part we might play as far as people being able to gossip about us. We've learned so much. If these things resonated with you and you got a lot from it, share this video with a friend. Don't you be a gatekeeper. I want you to like and subscribe. Subscribe so you'll know the next time that When with Gwen releases another video. And I gotta say this before I go. I am so proud of you. I want you to give yourself 5 high fives like always, because you showed up and you showed out as usual. Remember, you got to do the work if you want to win at this game called life. Thank you for joining me for another episode of When with Gwen. And until next time, keep doing the work, because I see you. I love you guys. See you next week.